This is a bond gem, rated the most useless one in existence, being tossed out like trash. That should have been its fate. But the moment I see its cross-section, smooth and green like matcha jelly, a wild idea sparks in my mind. Without hesitation, I eat it right there in front of everyone. The whole school thinks I've lost it. What they don't know is, I've just made a contract with myself. I now have absolute control over my own body. Right then and there I command myself to do 500 push-ups. But I have no idea. This is only the beginning. Because after absorbing the second gem's energy, I see the most shocking truth this world has to offer. It starts like this. I slice open a discarded awakening stone with a small knife. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed. But then, I stare at the split crystal, and something stirs inside me. A craving. The cut surface is smooth and glassy, vivid green like matcha jelly. Wait, a crazy thought explodes in my head. What if I absorb it myself? Total self-control. 100% command over my own body. A path no one has ever walked. Let's go. Worst case, the energy just fades. I pick up the stone and guide its energy into my body. Other beings might reject it, but not me. The moment it hits, a feeling beyond words washes over me, like my body and mind have fused into one. After a long moment, I open my eyes and think silently, go pour a glass of water. 1 second later, my body moves on its own. I watch like a bystander as my legs swing off the bed, walk to the desk, pick up a cup, and pour water. Every motion is flawless, unstoppable. It still uses my stamina, but I don't have to think about it at all. After finishing the water, I give myself a new command, 500 push-ups. My body drops to the floor and starts hammering them out, fast. 1, 2, 100. By 250, my muscles are screaming and my willpower is gone, but under absolute command, my body keeps going. It doesn't stop. 500. Done. I collapse face down on the floor, unable to move a single finger, but I'm grinning ear to ear. This is insane. This ability is literally the ultimate self-discipline hack. Sure, it seems pretty useless right now, but at least it lets me push past my limits when I train. The next morning, before dawn, I'm still asleep, but my eyes open on their own. My body gets dressed and walks out of the dorm. It heads to the track and starts running. This is the order I gave myself last night: wake up at 4 in the morning and run. My mind is still floating in a dream, while my body runs like a precision machine, carrying out its orders. By 6 o'clock, when I fully wake up, I'm already sitting in the cafeteria. In front of me, a bowl of white rice porridge and 3 steamed buns. Not bad at all. I can't stop smiling. Honestly, I have to give myself credit for this genius move. Just then, a commotion breaks out nearby. Lyra, good morning, goddess. I already grabbed breakfast for you. I look up and immediately recognize Lyra from the next class, the school's most popular girl. She's adored by everyone, with fans everywhere. My old roommate was one of them. I glance up out of habit while chewing my bun, and the next second my pupils shrink to a pinpoint. I snap my head down and pretend to sip my porridge to hide the storm raging inside me. In my memory, Lyra is a slender, strikingly beautiful girl. But what I just saw is a massive fox-type aberrant standing over 2 meters tall, walking upright, its face covered by a mimic disguise, wearing a girl's appearance, strutting through the crowd like it owns the place. And everyone around it, every single person, is looking at it with pure admiration, like nothing's wrong. What is going on? Zane, good morning. The aberrant passes right by me, its voice raspy, yet somehow everyone else finds it beautiful. Inside, I'm screaming at myself, stay calm, stay calm. I nod without changing expression. Morning, Lyra. Thankfully, it doesn't stop. It keeps moving. I finish my breakfast at the fastest pace of my life and leave the cafeteria like nothing happened. I'm an adult. I know better than to freak out in public. I walk calmly toward the main building. My target, the staff room. But when I reach the door and see through the glass, the teacher inside, their true form, also an aberrant wearing a disguise, I walk straight past without missing a beat. The teachers can't be trusted either. This is bad. 2 of them in one school. So what about the whole city? Who's really in charge here? I slip into an empty corner, my mind churning. There's clearly a lot about my ability I still don't understand. I'm certain that before I absorbed that crystal, I was just like everyone else, completely blind to it. So this change came from the bond gem. I reach out again, summon a new gem, and absorb it without hesitation. If one gem lets me see the truth, then what does the second one do? Boom. This time it's completely different. Yesterday was mind and body becoming one, but now it's like the whole world opens up. All 5 of my senses explode outward. Everything around me becomes vivid and electric, brighter than I've ever seen. I open my eyes and sweep the classroom. When my gaze lands on an empty desk, I catch a faint, barely there trace of energy. Residual energy. Then a vision flickers before my eyes. The teacher lectures at the front. While in the classroom, a massive fox silently closes in on a student. At the same moment, 2 lines of cold text appear before me. Scan successful. Energy-stained desk. A top student was once taken by an aberrant while no one noticed. This desk recorded everything. My stomach drops. I immediately turn my gaze on myself. I stare hard. 1 minute later, lines of text flash open before me. Scan successful. Contracted beast Zane, contractor Zane, Race, human. Potential 3 stars. Lifespan 89. Gift, bond gem. Consumes stamina and mental energy to form a bond gem. Forms a deep link with the target. The target gains a boost to your potential and luck. Repeated absorption slightly increases your own potential, with a 1% chance to awaken a new gift. Absolute command, you hold total dominion over your contracted beast, yourself. Absolute obedience, you obey your contractor's commands without question. Unstable scan, can scan a target with a very small chance of obtaining information. The closer the two parties are in strength, the higher the success rate. It actually worked. I stare at this absurd stat panel where I'm both the contracted beast and the contractor, and I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Am I my own sword and shield? But then, pure joy hits me like a wave. This isn't a useless gem, it's a bond gem. Awaken new gifts, that means unlimited possibilities. Everyone else gets one ability. But I can keep absorbing energy and unlock a second, a third. Now I finally have a real card to play in this twisted world. I have to find out, is Pearl City really a human city, or a hunting ground for aberrants in disguise? I refuse to let my desk become another energy-stained desk. At noon I grab a quick bite and leave campus. I use visiting Sarah as my cover story, but my real target is the Patrol Corps headquarters. I need to see how many monsters are hiding in this city. I step onto the main street and my world is completely shattered. In a cold weapon shop, a humanoid aberrant sits with its legs crossed, chewing on a strange golden glowing piece of dried meat while reading a newspaper. To everyone else, it's just a middle-aged guy snacking. Keep my eyes straight ahead and scan it silently. Scan successful. Aberrant, Veil Fox, gift, cognitive distortion, reality inversion. So that's how it works. They can warp how people perceive things, override common sense. No wonder no one notices. I keep walking. All along the street, more Veil Foxes, shopping, chatting like normal people, haggling over loose change, getting heated about it. They have intelligence no worse than humans. 2 hours later, I finally reach the Patrol Corps headquarters. Heavy security. A sharp, tense atmosphere, completely out of place with the peaceful world outside. I take a deep breath and approach the front desk. The staff member inside is in uniform, smiling pleasantly. I keep my voice steady. Hi, I'm looking for someone. From behind the counter, the Veil Fox rasps. Who are you looking for? My face gives away nothing. Sarah. I say the name. The Veil Fox nods, flips through records. A moment later, it looks up, those inhuman eyes fixed on me. Sarah is still in the building. Want me to call her over? Please. I nod, but my heart sinks. The moment I nod, my gift activates. Scan successful. Aberrant, Veil Fox. Gift, cognitive distortion, reality inversion, unnatural trust. I feel a chill. This one is stronger than the ones at school. Its gifts are stranger, harder to fight. I understand now why humans in this world can only hide inside the cities. These monsters are simply born stronger. Footsteps approach. I look up and force a smile. 2 Veil Foxes walk toward me. One of them is wearing Sarah's face as its mimic disguise. The disguise glows faintly, looking deeply wrong, deeply unsettling. Zane. What do you want? The Veil Fox wearing Sarah's face speaks. Its voice just as raspy as the others. I force myself to smile more naturally. I was worried about you. Thought you might be struggling with the Patrol Corps. How are you holding up? If it's too much, just come farm with me. Farm? Never. I need to get stronger here. I'm going to protect this city, and get justice for my parents. It snaps back, irritated, perfectly mimicking Sarah's temper. I let out a long sigh like I'm genuinely relieved for her. Alright, sounds like you're doing fine. That's good enough for me. You're really going to farm? It asks. I shrug, looking helpless and resigned. What can I do? My ability is useless. I'm out. Next time we meet, who knows when that'll be. It gives a short nod. Bye. It turns and walks away without looking back. I walk calmly out of the Patrol Corps headquarters, glance up at a sky so blue it almost hurts, and after a long pause I let out a slow, heavy breath like a fool who just lost everything. Then I cross the street and walk into a restaurant. I pick a window seat, with a clear view of the Patrol Corps gate. I order the cheapest tea. I sit there like a statue. The anger doesn't cloud my mind. If anything, the angrier I get, the colder I become. Acting recklessly won't solve anything. It'll just get me killed faster. I watch that gate all afternoon, unblinking, until dusk falls. Only when I have the answer I came for do I get up and head back. The entire Patrol Corps, not a single living human. Every single one of them is a monster in disguise. That's my conclusion after an entire afternoon of watching. It doesn't matter who you are, the moment you join the Patrol Corps, you walk into a trap. The city's protectors have been completely hollowed out. Pearl City isn't a city, it's an unguarded hunting ground, and every one of us is just livestock. No wonder Veil Foxes have shown up even at school. This city fell a long time ago. Graduation is 3 months away, but for me it means nothing anymore. Stay on campus. I stop attending the pointless classes. Dorm, track, cafeteria, that's my whole world. I train like a monk. I tell people it's to get physically ready for farming. I'm not alone. Plenty of students with useless abilities and no future have chosen to ride out their days here. But I quickly spot a pattern. These seemingly ordinary students are actually the safest. The Veil Foxes have clear targets, those who join key organizations like Sarah did, or those with exceptional gifts like Lyra. As for me, a contractor who can't even get a contracted beast, officially rated low potential, destined for farming. In their eyes, I'm no threat, and that is exactly my best cover. Every day I feel myself getting stronger. My physical condition and potential are rising at a visible rate. I treat the bond gems I form as daily supplements. The moment my stamina and mental energy recover, I absorb another one. After just a few days, no new gift yet, but the results are remarkable. I can now do 1,000 push-ups in a row, and when I finish, my stamina bounces back fast. No more collapsing on the floor. One night, I sit cross-legged on my bed and summon another bond gem. I absorb it without even looking. And then, the entire world goes silent. I feel like I've been pulled into a soundless void. Several seconds pass before the chirping of crickets and frogs floods back in. I immediately scan myself. Scan successful. Contracted beast Zane. Potential, 4 stars. Gifts. Bond gem. Absolute command. Absolute obedience. Unstable scan. Nightwalker. Grants night vision. Reduced presence and weight at night. Increased movement speed. Complete invisibility in shadows. A new gift. My heart jolts. Just as I expected. I don't even need the panel to confirm it. My body already knows. I leap off the bed. I'm light as a feather. One small jump, and my fingertips touch the ceiling. I land without a sound. Like a cat. The dark city outside my window looks as bright as noon to me. And then, I spot a massive bird of prey with a wingspan of over 40 feet, trailing thick black smoke as it glides silently over the city. I go cold. If that thing dives down, the consequences would be unimaginable. This world is 10,000 times more dangerous than I thought. I go to the bathroom and realize, going from 3 stars to 4 is about far more than just a new gift. I knock out 2,500 push-ups in one go and feel like I could do 500 more. Part of it is the reduced body weight, but the gains are real. All 5 senses are razor sharp. I can even hear someone grinding their teeth in the next dorm. What level am I now? I lie back on my bed and start calculating. In this world, the ranking system is blunt and simple. Levels 1 through 9 are tier 1, 10 through 20 are tier 2, and above that are tier 3 and tier 4. As for the legendary Apex rank, Pearl City has never seen a single one. The next day I wake up already running laps on the track. Still dark outside, but my mind is razor clear. Higher potential means I need less sleep. After the run, my body walks itself to the cafeteria, following the orders I set last night, until that figure appears. Lyra. Good morning, goddess. I'll save your spot. What do you want? The crowd stirs. The massive aberrant wearing Lyra's face drifts in, surrounded by admirers. Even with my increased strength, that soul-deep chill still locks up my entire body. Then it stops, right beside a girl with a huge smile. It extends a claw and rests it gently on her shoulder, steering her out of line like they're old friends, then casually pulling her toward the food counter like picking a breakfast companion from a buffet. I grip my chopsticks so hard my knuckles go white. Head down, I force every last bite of food into my mouth. I have to finish before that thing gets any closer, before it catches my scent, then get out. When I leave, people in the cafeteria are still envying the girl chosen by the goddess, lucky enough to share breakfast with her. To them, it's a blessing. To me, it's a silent hunt. That girl is being taken by a monster. Her silhouette fades into the crowd. I need answers. I need to know exactly what I'm dealing with. I clench my fists and storm back to the dorm, slam the door. 1,000 push-ups. I give myself the order. Sweat soaks my clothes fast. I don't stop. 500 sit-ups, 300 frog jumps, again. My eyes are bloodshot. I roar at myself inside all morning, grinding through high-intensity training. At noon I wolf down lunch, rest for 2 hours, then start drilling combat strikes. My mind runs through everything from combat class. Pearl City's 3 strikes, Spike Strike for weaker opponents overwhelmed with momentum. Wolf Strike, for equals, 1 hit finish it. Ox Guard for stronger enemies move and absorb force. Just 3 techniques but bought with the lives of countless people before me. I'm not a physical enhancement type, but I have the bond gem. My potential has no ceiling. At 9 at night, I change into dark clothes and slip out like a ghost. Junior students are still sparring on the track. I ignore them, glance once toward the girls' dorm, and clench my fist in my pocket. Steady, Zane, I tell myself. You're still too weak. I leave campus and vanish completely into the night. Nightwalker makes me feel like I don't exist. People walk right past me, looking straight through me. I move through the streets, around campus, like a real hunter, silently logging what I see. I remember what class taught me. Aberrant eyes glow in the dark. Tier 1 glows white. Tier 2 is green. Tier 3 is blue. Tier 4 is red. I'm inexperienced, but I can get a rough read. The Veil Foxes I see are mostly Tier 2 to Tier 3, roughly level 19 to 25, but after a few nights a massive question gnaws at me. Another Tier 1. I crouch in a corner, watching a Veil Fox with bright white eyes strolling boldly down the street. That makes no sense. A Tier 1 aberrant, no matter how strange its gift, cannot hide itself from a Tier 2 or Tier 3 awakened. Level suppression is absolute. It's like a child trying to overpower an adult in a fist fight. But the reality is, these Tier 1 monsters roam the city without a care, committing crimes in the open, and every stronger person around them is completely blind to it. There's a piece of critical information I'm missing. I take one last look at the Tier 1 Veil Fox and melt back into the deeper dark. I've already built a rough mental map. Within 16 streets of campus, there are at least 50 Veil Foxes. The strongest outside campus is around level 25 or higher. The one impersonating a teacher inside campus is probably close to level 30. I don't even dare scan it. Instinct, raw, animal instinct, warns me, if I try to peek at it, I'll be dead in the next second. This isn't paranoia, I'm 100% certain the aberrant wearing Lyra's face is operating at a level that's off the charts, possibly a Tier 4 aberrant. I have enough intel. Back in my dorm, doing push-ups on the cold floor, sweat dripping, my mind is racing. On my own? No shot. But these monsters' abilities are too twisted. Even low-level ones can fool high-level awakened. I have zero proof. Who would believe me? The only way is to get a corpse as evidence. With evidence, I might be able to move the big players. But hunting a Veil Fox is kicking a hornet's nest, and there's no guarantee I'd survive after taking one down. Bottom line, I'm still too weak. Add 500 sit-ups. I grit my teeth and force the order on myself. These days, I absorb 2 bond gems every single day. Potential rising, body strengthening, but a new gift hasn't shown up. The only thing keeping me from despair is the feeling of getting better every single day. The next morning, I open my eyes. Earlier again. 4 in the morning. The sky is pitch black. Only the sound of my own breathing fills the track. The air is cold. For a moment, I almost feel like I'm back in my past life school. If only there were no monsters. But the moment I think of those devoured students, my fists tighten on their own. Then my foot hits something solid. I stop. I look back. Something on the ground is catching the light. Cancel morning run. Free movement. I give myself the order immediately, walk back and pick it up. It's a dark-colored ring, crafted with incredible detail. The engravings are eerie and beautiful. Definitely not cheap junk. I scan it. Scan failed. Again, scan failed. That shocks me. Ordinary objects scan almost instantly. Yet this thing keeps failing. I dig in and push the scan over and over. After more than 10 failed attempts, information finally surfaces. Scan successful. Shadow ring. When worn, all living beings instinctively ignore the wearer. Tier 3 awakened and above are immune. The moment the scan succeeds, a vision crashes into my mind. A white-bearded old man presses one hand on the ring, the other on a bound man. Golden light flashes. The man screams silently, streams of gold ripped from his body and poured into the ring. The scene shifts. On a training ground, a man in white with a black mask is fighting Lyra, but he's completely outmatched. He goes down fast. His energy core is destroyed in an instant. The vision cuts off. Now it clicks. I realize it all at once. Cold sweat breaks out immediately. This could be a Veil Fox trap. I jerk my head toward the girl's dorm, dead silent. I force myself to stay calm. I grit my teeth and slide the ring onto my finger without reacting. Throwing it away now would be more suspicious. While it's still dark and Nightwalker is active, I need to get back to the dorm now. I spin around and vanish into the night. At the corner outside the track, a yawning Veil Fox suddenly senses something wrong. It stares hard, rubs its eyes. The ring is gone. Not good. It leaps onto the track and drops to the ground, sniffing frantically, but among the tangled scents, it instinctively overlooks mine. It searches every corner, nothing. No one was here. How is that possible? The Veil Fox is baffled. It watched all night on Lyra's orders. How did the ring just vanish into thin air? No, someone was definitely here. To get past me undetected, at least Tier 2. It narrows its slanted fox eyes and runs toward the girl's dorm. At the same time, on the balcony of the boys' dorm, I watch it go, and slowly breathe out. I called it. 4 in the morning, still dark. My presence was already faint to begin with. With the shadow ring on, it dropped to virtually nothing. It never found me. But there's no way I can wear this ring during the day. Absolutely not. A monster at Lyra's level would see right through it. So I'm not the only one who figured it out. I go back to my room, turning the ring over in my fingers. That man in white was clearly hunting them too. Why go after Lyra specifically? Does she hold a special position among the Veil Foxes? I need more intel, way more. I can't work it out, so I just drop onto the bed and stop overthinking it. But the ring reminds me of something important. Strength isn't only built through training. This world has all kinds of powerful gear. Tonight, I need to look into prices. I set the goal, glance at the clock. 5 in the morning, 1 more hour. I give myself the order and drop instantly into sleep. Then, through a haze, I see Sarah. Her figure is blurry, but her almond eyes are clear as water, staring at me with urgency. Zane, danger. Wake up. A dream? No. Wake up. My eyes snap open. In the next second, without any hesitation, I pull off the ring and shove it into my mouth, swallow it with a hard gulp, then close my eyes again. A few minutes later, my dorm door slides open without a sound. Lyra walks in. She moves through my room like she owns it, then stops at my bedside. She leans down, the mimic disguise almost pressing against my face. A breeze from the balcony stirs the edges of the disguise. Behind it, those narrow fox eyes study me in silence. Its claw slides out slowly, stopping less than half an inch from my temple. I can even smell the stale residue of old energy on that claw. Then, It retracts the claw and turns to leave. Outside the door, another veil fox whispers, "Your Highness, why didn't you take care of him?" Lyra gives it a cold glance. "It's not him, and don't waste food." That veil fox shuts up immediately. Lyra looks back one last time at my sleeping face, then disappears with her subordinates down the corridor. Half an hour later, I snap awake, heart still pounding. That was way too close. I can't afford to slip up at all. I glance out the window. They're gone. Only then do I let out a breath. I had ordered my body to sleep, but my mind stayed awake the whole time. The moment she walked in, I figured it out. I hadn't shown up on the track after 5, and that unusual behavior raised suspicion. That monster, in speed and strength, I couldn't survive a single move. All I could do was gamble. Gamble that she didn't know I took the ring. Gamble that she couldn't spot my tells. Gamble that low-potential nobody like me wasn't worth her appetite. I won again. Training is too slow. I need gear. I sit on the edge of the bed shaking with delayed fear. Being completely at their mercy like that, I never want to feel that again. To avoid looking suspicious, I force myself to go to the cafeteria anyway. But the moment I walk in, everyone is talking about the same thing. Black Nova is dead. Black Nova, Pearl City's most notorious solo hunter. Legend has it that for the right price he'd take on anyone, even the city lord. I eat my breakfast while listening closely. His remains were found this morning in a ditch near campus, mauled beyond recognition. White clothes covered in golden marks, black mask shattered into pieces. My stomach drops. White clothes, black mask. Could that be the man from the Shadow Ring's vision? Which means, the person I thought was an ally last night was just a hired gun. Wait, Lyra is an orphan, just like me. Who would spend that kind of money to send Black Nova after her? Unless someone else has figured out these monsters in disguise, and went with the most direct approach, pay someone to take them out. My expression twists into something strange. That's actually a solid plan. No evidence needed, no convincing anyone, just money. A solo hunter doesn't care whether the target is human or monster. Too bad he failed, and tipped them off. I finish breakfast and head back to the dorm. Either way, train first. I summon a bond gem and absorb it. Suddenly, an extraordinary feeling surges from within, like everything inside me is ascending. I pause. A new gift? I scan myself immediately. Scan successful. Contracted beast Zane. Potential 4 stars. Tier 1 awakened, level 2. Gift. Stable scan can scan any target. So I leveled up. A wave of relief hits me. The unstable scan upgraded to a stable version, and now it shows level data too. That means I can now read those monsters' levels even during the day. This upgrade is huge. Today's a good day. 2,000 push-ups to celebrate. I smile and start warming up. After leveling up, both my stamina and mental energy went up by around 5%. Not much, but it adds up. When night falls, I put on the Shadow Ring and leave campus. Nightwalker plus the Shadow Ring, I'm now an absolute ghost. I stop at a street corner and scan a Veil Fox inside a shop. Scan successful. Aberrant. Veil Fox. Tier 2 Aberrant, level 15. Now I have a baseline. I drift through the area, logging every Veil Fox's level in my head. Half an hour later, I reach a weapon shop called Iron Soul. I've had my eye on this place. The owner is human, and most of the customers are adventurers, mostly orphans like me, people on the fringe. I won't raise any flags walking in. I watch for a moment, wait for the shop to empty, then walk in. A wave of heat hits me immediately. At the far end, a massive forge glows. A thin old man leans against the wall, puffing slowly on a long-stemmed pipe without even glancing up. I ignore him and browse the display. 9-ring war axe, 500,000. Ghost scythe, 600,000. Then, my eyes light up. A weapon rests quietly in the case, entirely white, shaped like an elongated saber. The frost blade, 6'2" in length, 80 pounds, forged from the essence of a frost leopard. Every strike carries a chill. What a blade. My blood runs hot as I look at the price tag. Then my heart feels like it's been cut by it. Stone cold, 2 million pearl coins. I do the math. A regular farmer working without eating or sleeping would need 660 to 6 years to afford it. I deflate. I knew it'd be expensive, just not this expensive. I circle the shop, and the cheapest thing I can find still costs tens of thousands. I steel myself and walk up to the old man. Do you have anything cheaper? The old man takes a slow drag, waits a full minute and a half before lifting his cloudy eyes to look at me. He asks slowly, "You say what?" I repeat myself. "Do you have anything cheaper?" The old man stares at me for a long moment, like the signal is 50 years delayed, then says something completely unrelated. "My son's waiting for dinner." I'm speechless. Just then, a stocky middle-aged man bursts through the door, wearing a beat-up camouflage jacket, built like an inverted triangle, arms thicker than my thighs, with a pitch-black greatsword strapped to his back. Clearly a seasoned fighter. "Sorry about this, we're actually closed right now." He sets down his weapon and walks over. The old man spots him and immediately gets irritated. "Rex, where have you been taking Mason wandering off to?" "Old Flint, why did you open up again?" Rex grimaces. "I told you to stay home. I'll find Mason soon." The old man grabs his pipe and raps it on Rex's head, scolding him like only a disappointed elder can. "Stop wasting your time out there. Tell Mason to come home for dinner." Fine, I'll call him home." Rex keeps nodding. Let's close up and go upstairs. Another rap of the pipe. I'm staying here. What if a regular customer shows up? Fine, stay right here. Rex gives in with a helpless laugh. Then he notices me about to slip away, and his eyes light up. Hey kid, thinking about becoming an adventurer? Wait up. I turn around. Need something? Just talk for a second. Rex puts on his friendliest smile. I hesitate, then nod. We step outside. Rex reaches for a cigarette out of habit and offers it. I wave it off. Almost done with school, right? He tucks the cigarette behind his ear and gets straight to the point. Almost. I nod. What do you think about the blacksmith trade? He asks carefully. I immediately understand what he's getting at. I glance at the old man inside and play along. Better than farming. Yes, exactly. Better than farming. He lights up like I just said the magic words. Farming in this world isn't just planting crops. It means fixing roads, patching city walls, dealing with the city's waste and sewage, everything dirty and exhausting that isn't combat. So what you mean is, I gesture toward the shop. Rex sees I've caught on and cuts straight to it. I'll be honest with you. That man in there is my uncle, blood uncle. His son, my buddy Mason, went missing a while back. Old Flint's mind isn't all there anymore. I need someone to look after him and keep an eye on the shop. I'll come by to teach you when I can. I'll make sure you learn the craft properly. What do you say? Think about it. My mind races. Room and board included? Not only room and board, 100 coins a month on top of that. I'll think about it. I'll give you an answer tomorrow. I'm tempted, but I have reservations. The missing Mason was almost certainly taken by a veil fox. The dorm is dangerous, sure, but Lyra only goes after girls. Boys are relatively safer, but this morning's room check just shattered what little sense of safety the dorm had. Think it over carefully, Rex says, then suddenly presses a dagger into my hand. Call this a friendship gift. Things have been unstable in the city lately. Watch yourself. He turns and heads back in. I walk and think, instinctively drawing the dagger. The sheath slides open, a flash of cold light. My pupils contract. The material of this dagger is identical to that 2 million coin frost blade. The blade is pure white, radiating a bone-deep chill. Seriously, this is an incredibly generous gift. My mind is made up instantly. Betting my life on a monster's taste is just stupid. What if Lyra decides to switch things up one day? That settles it. I'll say yes tomorrow. I turn the dagger over in my hands, already in love with it, and decide to give it a name right then. Teardrop. Walking back, I run through combat scenarios in my head, dagger in hand. Then I pass a park, and my feet stop dead. On a swing sits a young veil fox about 3 feet tall. Scan successful. Aberrant, veil fox, level 3. Weak. Very weak. My heart starts hammering on its own. Evidence. This is the perfect evidence. Take it down, deliver the remains to the investigation unit, and everything could unravel. Pearl City might still be saved. Let's go. I can't take it anymore. Watching classmates get hunted every single day, pretending not to see monsters committing crimes in broad daylight. I turn. My right hand closes around Teardrop's grip. A weapon in hand, the will to kill comes naturally. Without this dagger, I never would have had the nerve. But the moment I step into the park, a hand lands on my shoulder. Don't move. A woman's voice sounds in my ear, and a bone-cutting chill spreads from behind me. Ice. An ice type awakened. My restless heart goes still in an instant. Not a veil fox, no killing intent. Don't turn around, don't speak, take this and go. The woman finishes speaking and presses a folded note into my hand. The next second, the cold behind me vanishes. I don't look back. I crouch and pretend to search for something on the ground, then walk away without glancing back. To detect me through both Nightwalker and the Shadow Ring at the same time, this woman's level is far above mine. Could she be the one who hired someone to take out the aberrants? I mull it over on the way back to the dorm and don't open the note. I just lie down and rest. The next day at 4 in the morning, I wake on schedule and walk to the bathroom. Only then, sitting on the toilet, do I slowly unfold the note. 3 words. 23. Wu Lian, Nan Yue. I frown. 4 days until the 23rd. Clearly a meeting request. But what are Wu Lian and Nan Yu? My head throbs. The code is clearly meant to hide from veil foxes. That afternoon, while filling out my graduation form, something clicks. What if I read it backwards? Vietnam. Train martial arts. I go rigid. I get it instantly. It's not some complex riddle. But only a handful of people would know it. Whoever sent this knows me well, or knew the former soul in this body. Near the orphanage, there used to be a noodle shop. The sign was cracked in a way that made it look like it said Vietnam. And behind that shop was a small park. The place where I secretly trained as a kid. That shop closed 4 years ago. Fewer than 5 people know that secret. I tear the note into pieces and flush it, pick up my completed application, and walk out with purpose. The application goes through without a hitch. An ordinary-looking student, no one pays attention. That evening I pack everything and head straight for Iron Soul. The moment Rex sees me dragging my luggage, his face breaks into a huge grin. Perfect timing, kid. I've got a job tomorrow. I'll be back in about 5 days. I was just worrying about who'd look after old Flint. He eagerly leads me upstairs. I pick a room and settle in. Only then do I learn Rex's full name is Chu Chiang, and old Flint's real name is Lu Tifeng, 79 years old. That night, Rex decides to teach me some basics. Kid, watch carefully. He puts on fireproof gloves and stands at the forge. I lock in, eyes fixed on every move. He picks up several iron ingots and some deep red serpent scales and tosses them into a wooden tray. How much does one piece of refined iron cost? Must be expensive, right? Every piece might carry the sweat of a miner or adventurer. I go quiet. These ember serpent scales, at high heat they fuse with the refined iron. The weapon gains self-repair capability, but it has to be formed in a single attempt. If it fails, it's scrap. He tosses the whole tray into the forge, then plunges his bare hands into the fire and kneads the mixture like dough. Fast. Flames lick up his arms. He doesn't even flinch. Watch closely. This is the key. He shouts, pulls out a glowing red mass, shoves it into a rectangular mold, grabs a massive hammer, and starts pounding the raised surface like there's no tomorrow. Bring me that red oil over there, he barks, gasping. I strain with everything I have to drag the 3-foot-tall oil drum over. Not bad, you've got some strength. Rex grins, unscrews the cap, and pours fire oil over the mold. A massive boom. Steam erupts. He yanks open the mold. A jet-black battle blade with red veining appears before us. He lifts it, swings hard at the test stone. The blade sings through the air, and the solid stone is sliced cleanly in two. This is Pearl City's most basic standard blade, the Pearl Blade. I'm completely floored. But I snap back quickly. A city with technology like this is still riddled with veil foxes. Can this blade hurt a Tier 2 aberrant? Rex laughs. Works well on Tier 1. Tier 2 is luck of the draw. All right, your turn. He hands me the gloves. I take a deep breath, put them on, and step forward. I copy his movements and load the materials into the forge. Immediately, a brutal wave of heat slams into me. My eyebrows curl on the spot. Don't step back. Feel the material changing, Rex shouts from behind me. I clench my jaw, plunge both hands into the flames, and cup the scorching mass. Knead it. Get it even. I realize fast. This is 10,000 times harder than kneading actual dough. I pour everything I have into it, grinding and working the mass, sweat soaking my back instantly. Faster, or the material burns off. I feel the mass finally come together as one, and yank it out immediately. I jam it into the mold, then go for the hammer, and realize the thing weighs an absurd amount. I barely hoist it with both hands. I pound it as hard as I can until every raised surface is hammered flat, then tip the fire oil over it. Boom, steam explodes. I let go, completely spent, and drop straight onto the floor. Every part of me gives out. Here, drink. Rex hands me water. I take it and drain it in one go. He looks at me, and there's something new in his eyes. Genuine respect. Not bad. I honestly thought you'd tap out. Looks like your school's teachers were all blind. With grit like yours, you could walk into any of the 3 factions. I wipe my mouth and finally ask something that's been on my mind for days. Rex, everyone talks about the Patrol Corps and Investigation Unit. What's the 3rd faction in the 3 factions actually called? Rex just throws up his hands like it's obvious. No idea. Pearl City has always called it that. Everyone knows there's a 3rd faction, but what it's called, where it is, what it does, nobody knows. I'm stunned. Unbelievable. This entire time, someone's been playing it completely mysterious, and I thought it was the former soul who just didn't know. Turns out nobody does. Whatever. Probably some assassination-type secret outfit. Rex slaps the mold. Rested enough? Then come see your first piece. I stand up, palms soaked. Rex signals me to open it myself. I grip the lever and yank it hard. Suddenly, a strange silver gleam bleeds out of the mold. I frown and look at Rex. Failed just as I thought. Rex wrinkles his nose and lifts the blade. The surface is a tangled mess of silver streaks, nothing like the clean red patterns of a pearl blade. It looks like a factory reject. He walks to the test stone, swaps in a fresh one, and swings the blade down. The stone is completely fine. The blade snaps in two with a sharp crack, the tip flying out and sticking hard to the giant magnet nearby. Clean it up. Rex tosses the broken blade to me, voice unreadable. I stare at the break and work out what went wrong. The forge ran too hot. It practically roasted me alive, so my strength completely fell apart in the second half. The kneading was a total disaster. Rex sits down and walks me through every single mistake, step by step. I keep nodding. This is 10,000 times more useful than any hollow theory class at school. Then a painful thought hits me. Rex, how much did I just lose on that attempt? Rex sighs. About 60,000, give or take. My stomach drops and all the color drains from my face. 60,000, you couldn't sell me and come close to covering it. Ha 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 ha, look at your face. Rex suddenly bursts out laughing and slaps his knee. I'm messing with you. When there's enough scrap, I'll teach you to recycle it. If you ever nail a single attempt forge, even Mason would have to call you senior. Before he even finishes laughing, old Flint's pipe lands dead center on his forehead. Rex yelps, clutching his head and hunching over. You and your big mouth, Rex. This kid has more talent than Mason ever did. Where'd you find him? Old Flint's eyes sharpen for a moment, then cloud over again. Where's Mason? Where did Mason go? Rex sighs, pats my shoulder, voice heavy. Take care of old Flint. I've got things to handle. I nod. Rex is a talker, but he still lectures me for 10 more minutes before he can bring himself to leave. The shop falls quiet, nothing but the crackle of the forge. I pour a glass of water and walk over to old Flint. Water, old Flint? He ignores me, head down, puffing his pipe. Then, he looks up sharply, eyes cutting like a drawn blade. Set the cup down, he's far enough away now. I flinch. I'm not senile. Old Flint gives a cold snort, voice steady. I know something happened to Mason. Rex wants to investigate, but if he goes, I'm afraid he'll get dragged in, too, so I play dumb to hold him back. As long as something feels off to that man, he pulls into his shell and won't risk his neck. I'm floored. Playing the fool to keep someone safe. Is that what a real survivor looks like? Old Flint, aren't you worried I'll tell Rex? He looks right back at me. A faint smile in those eyes. I shake my head helplessly. No. Then we're good. He blows a smoke ring. Rex teaches sloppy. For the next few days, I'll teach you the real Flint's kneading method. The craft of this family will not die with me. The next morning, 4 in the morning, I wake on schedule. Old Flint is ahead of me, already waiting in the third-floor workshop. Get over here, knead. He tosses me a bowl of real flour, mixed with hundreds of iron beads in different sizes. Blindfold on, knead out every bead. When you can tell flour clumps from iron beads by touch alone, that's when you've begun. I say nothing, blindfold on, and get to work. The dough is dense, riddled with iron beads, brutally rough on my fingers. I focus completely on my fingertips. The whole morning, I go to war with that dough. In the afternoon, the old man starts pouring knowledge into me. Crimson serpent scales, they release heat at high temperatures and can self-repair, but to counter them, you have to hit their weak point first. Every bit of this knowledge was bought with someone's life, and I absorb it at full speed, more focused than I ever was studying for my past life's exams. Before I know it, it's late night on the 22nd, tomorrow is the 23rd. I decide to scout out the park in advance. I put on the shadow ring and slip out the window like a ghost. The veil fox posted at the door is staring blankly at the shop sign, completely unaware I've already slipped right past it. 10 minutes later, I reach the park. Tree shadows sway, and the once open space carries a cold, unsettling stillness. Then, I feel eyes on my back. I spin around fast, hand already on Teardrop's grip. In the bushes, a rat the size of a full-grown cat, covered in stiff, coarse fur, slowly crawls out. Scan successful. Aberrant armored venom tail rat. Level 5. Gift, deadly venom tail, hardened fur. My heart sinks. Level 2 against level 5, and that tail is lethal. One sting and I'm done, but I don't back down. What if this thing hurts the orphanage kids tomorrow? Weapon in hand, the will to kill rises on its own. Launch forward with everything I have, charging like a leopard. The rat is cunning. The moment I go for its eyes, it curls into a ball and spins wildly to bleed off the force. Teardrop scrapes across its back fur and sparks like metal on metal. I miss. I fall back instantly. The creature snaps back, venom tail lashing like a steel whip, hammering at my knees in rapid succession. Keep hopping back, sweat running cold down my forehead. This is 10,000 times harder than running laps. I stop suddenly, shift my grip on the blade, plant my legs in a deep stance, thunder pound stance. I surge forward again. The rat's tail coils toward my wrist like a snake in an S-curve. Now, I let out a roar, drop my center of gravity hard. The move breaks through its guard. My left hand fires a punch like lightning, landing square on the rat's skull. The impact stuns it. Then Teardrop becomes a streak of white light, driving through its eye socket, piercing the vital point. Even as it dies, the rat tries to sting me with its tail. I sidestep and leap back, watching its remains twitch twice on the ground, then go still. I stand there panting, staring at the golden liquid pooled around it. Thank everything that Nightwalker's speed boost was active. It saved my life. A few minutes after I leave, 2 women appear at the scene. One is in light green military gear, the other wears an ice mask. Frost. Do you think this person is human or Veil Fox? The woman in uniform lifts the rat's remains. The masked woman in white stares in the direction I left, voice cold and clear. I hope human. If there's any doubt, take them out. But they didn't eat the rat. The soldier sighs. Maybe they really are human. Let's go. This place isn't safe to linger. The woman in white speaks, and the 2 of them clean up the remains and vanish into the night. The next day, still before dawn, I decide to try the kneading forge method again. I absorb a bond gem and load the materials into the forge. This time I'm ready. I brace hard against the scorching heat, clench my teeth, and start kneading. Then, a sharp cramp hits my stomach. I gasp involuntarily, and somehow the gas pulls the forge flames in like a fire snake whooshing straight into my nose. A rush of warmth pours down my throat and into my stomach. I feel a sudden burst of clarity, and my hands move more smoothly. A new gift? My heart jumps, but my hands don't stop. Old Flint glances at me from the side without a word. Then he speaks up. The fire's too low. Add fuel. I snap back to it, free one hand and feed the forge. After a scrambled rush, I finally get the material into the mold and drop straight onto the floor. I check my stat panel immediately. Gift, Flame Eater, absorb fire to restore stamina, and convert excess flame into fire elemental energy stored in the body. This ability gradually improves the user's heat resistance. The first thing I notice is my potential drop from 4 stars to 3, and the note in the panel makes everything click. Potential is the treasure inside my body that hasn't been unlocked yet, and with the bond gem, I can mine it without limit. This path has no end, but right now I'm still a Tier 1 awakened. Any Tier 4 could flatten me without effort. No surprise, the second forge attempt fails too. I just sit by the furnace and start pulling in flames like I'm at an all-you-can-eat buffet. When the fire dims, I add fuel and pull again. Half an hour later, I feel full. A warm energy flows through my body, focus my thoughts, and it rushes to my fists like an obedient dog. This feels incredible. This is the first ability I can actively control. By evening, I can make small flames dance and coil around my fingertips. Beyond just looking cool, it also blocks out the cold, which gives me a little more confidence heading into the meeting. After eating, I go back for seconds, make sure old Flint is asleep, then put on the shadow ring and slip into the night. The park is completely silent. I find a corner to crouch in and wait, practicing with the fire energy inside me. Then, a black circle appears beneath my feet. Before I can react, my whole body drops straight through. Weightlessness hits me, complete darkness on all sides. I thrash as hard as I can, even burn through the soles of my shoes, but I can't stop the fall. 30 seconds later, I hit the ground hard, my entire body wrapped in thick black liquid from every direction, only my head above it. You have 5 minutes to prove you're human. A cold voice cuts through the air. I look up. It's the white-robed woman in the ice mask, her ice sword already pressed against my throat. Prove you're human. My mind races. Can't they just find the monsters hiding in the city themselves? She says nothing, but her silence tells me everything. They know something's out there, but not who or how many. In their eyes, every single person here could be a devil wearing a human face. Damn it. How am I supposed to prove this? I'm not some mystical sage who can just drop his disguise on command. Any hints? I try, testing her. Still nothing. I'm out of options. I start spamming scan on her like my life depends on it. Scan failed. Scan failed. Scan failed. 20 more attempts. I'm starting to wonder if my ability is broken. Then, nearly 2 minutes later, something finally surfaces. Scan successful. Name, Frost. Race, human. Tier 3 awakened. Level, 21. That's terrifying. I nearly choke. A Tier 3 awakened, and her potential stars are still at 5, but there's no time to be impressed. I tear through the former soul's memories searching for this name. Nothing. 1 minute left, Frost says, and it hits like a countdown to execution. I panic and start firing off every girl's name the former soul knew as a kid. Are you Cece? Xiao Xiao? Ping Ping? That proves nothing, Frost cuts me off, cold as ice. She's right. Any Veil Fox willing to do its homework could dig up those names. The Veil Foxes, if they wanted to look, could find all of that. I stare at her. Then something clicks. I'm going to gamble. Cece, Frost, one character apart. I lock eyes with her and speak slowly, one word at a time. Cece, do you remember? When we were kids, you fell into the river. I was the one who pulled you out. Because of that, the director made me stand in the corner for 3 whole days. That stone you gave me, I still have it. No reaction. My brain is spinning, scraping together every memory of the girl named Cece. And then it hits me. Something so stupid, so embarrassing that only the two of us would ever know. I lift my head, I feel ridiculous. But I'm throwing everything at this. Form 1? Ha! Form 2? Ha ha! Form 3? Ha ha ha! Heaven splitting, earth shaking, Cece's unbeatable fist. The air freezes. Behind that cold mask, a storm rises behind her eyes. She raises one hand, and the ice sword at my throat dissolves into water and vanishes. You're really Frost? I ask carefully. She doesn't take off the mask, but her voice softens, just barely. Second question. Your ability is listed as the worthless gem. Why has your behavior been so unusual lately? I absorbed the gem's energy, I answer. Half truth, half bluff. She pauses. You absorbed it yourself? Yeah. After that, my head cleared up, and I found 2 monsters hiding in the school. 2? Frost's voice sharpens. You're saying you can actually identify every Veil Fox in the city? I flip it back on her. Don't tell me you still don't even know what kind of monsters are hiding here. She goes silent. I get it immediately. They are completely flying blind. Time to pour fuel on the fire. Every monster hiding in Pearl City is a Veil Fox. Their abilities are cognitive distortion and reality inversion. 2 are in the schools centered around it. Every street has over 30 of them. The patrol corps has been completely wiped out. Not a single survivor. I can feel it clearly. The face behind that mask goes dead serious. I've tracked down some Veil Fox identities. You can verify them yourselves. I play my last card. Lei Street, Wanshang Breakfast Shop, the owner is a Veil Fox. Juan Furniture, the owner too. Dragon Pearl Street, Dragon Spear Armory, all 3 blacksmiths are Veil Foxes. Go verify it, then we talk. I pause, then twist the knife. Oh, and you might want to check your own organization for moles. Frost goes quiet for a long moment. Then she makes her call. Don't move, I'll be back soon. Do I look like I'm going anywhere? I shrug. Meanwhile, in a sealed chamber, a silver-haired elder holds a glowing badge to his ear and listens to Frost's full report. Veil Foxes. He scans the room. Anyone heard of them? A middle-aged man speaks up immediately. Descendants of the Phantom Fox and the Dread Fox lineages, highly probable. A broad, muscular man rises to his feet, radiating barely contained violence. Commander, let me verify it. The elder thinks for a beat, then slams the table. Go, Bolt, take a team. If the intel checks out, bring back the remains. On Lai Street at Wanchang Breakfast Shop, in the second-floor bedroom, a 2-meter veil fox lies deep asleep. It suddenly snaps its eyes open, but it's already too late. A fist materializes from nowhere. No warning. It drives straight into the veil fox's energy core. No sound. No residual energy. The fat man in the next bed doesn't even skip a snore. Bolt lifts the remains and says one word, cold as stone. Move. At almost the exact same moment in a school dormitory, Lyra's eyes snap open. She appears in the air, 100 meters up. Veil 9 has fallen. Her voice is ice. Then she feels another presence dissolve. Another one gone. A roar tears through the night. Rage pushed past its limit and detonates into a shockwave that rolls across half of Pearl City. Veil foxes lurking in the dark jolt awake, their mimic disguises torn loose and scattering in the blast. But Bolt's team is already gone, vanishing beyond the city walls with 2 sets of remains. The moment they cross the boundary, both human-shaped bodies twist and warp, becoming 2 massive foxes. Bolt stares at the remains and lets a savage grin spread across his face. Now we know what we're dealing with. Back in the chamber, the badge in Frost's hand lights up. The commander's voice crackles through. Frost, effective immediately, you and Manny are on silent protection detail for Zane. Trust level is your call. I'll back you up and work on confirming every Veil Fox identity we can. Frost returns to me and releases the restraints on my body. I roll my wrists and stretch. Well, she nods. But we can't rule out that this is a setup. For now, you're an informant only. I laugh it off. As long as we take these things down, being an informant works for me. One more question. I look her straight in the eye. Why can't the high-tier awakened in this city see through these lower-level monsters' disguises? Because... Frost takes a slow breath and says something that makes my scalp crawl. Pearl City most likely has a king-tier aberrant hiding somewhere inside. My eyes go wide. King-tier? You're joking. Do we even have a king on our side? No. A chill shoots straight from the soles of my feet to the top of my skull. Then what are you supposed to fight it with? Frost says nothing. A second later, a force pulls me upward. I'm back at street level, back at Iron Soul, lying in bed. One word echoes in my head. King-tier. We don't have the firepower. It's the first time I've ever felt this kind of helplessness. Bone deep and real. No king on our side means we fight with numbers. That's all we've got. The next day, I'm back training under Old Flint. There are a lot of villages outside the walls, he says, breathing out a slow ring of smoke. We call those people wild folk. They worship monsters as gods and use live humans as offerings. Out there, sometimes the most dangerous thing isn't the aberrant. It's them. That land's cold. This stone lionhound claw, Old Flint tosses me something dark and heavy, has an earth-countering property. Grind it to powder, mix it into fire oil, and you've got a weapon that cuts right through earth-type abilities. I turn the claw over in my hands. The smell of decay hits immediately. Old Flint, what's the difference between a stone lionhound and a regular dog? Black fur, red eyes, human teeth. He exhales another ring of smoke, simple as that. My mind immediately conjures an image of a dog wearing dentures. I almost lose it. I spend the whole morning training under Old Flint's guidance. After lunch, I sit beside the forge, summon flames into both palms, and start drilling the new techniques I've been developing. Flame palm, flame blade. I'm genuinely having fun, like a kid with a brand new toy. Then, a timid voice comes from behind me. Excuse me, how much is this knife? I turn around. A boy about my age, clean features, almost pretty, is pointing at one of the display pieces. I walk over and check. That one's not for sale. It's a sample. Oh, the others are way out of my budget. The boy looks embarrassed. Sorry, I'm just an apprentice, not my call. I spread my hands. He leaves, looking disappointed. I watch him go, feeling like I've seen him somewhere before, but I can't place it. A dojo. It hits me. He mentioned training at his family's dojo. If they run a dojo, they've got to be serious awakened. I decide to check it out tonight. Late that night, I flip out the window and catch a flash of Frost slipping through an alley. I follow immediately. One step, and the ground disappears. We land in the familiar sealed chamber. There's a problem, Frost says, no preamble. When a Veil Fox attacks, bystanders will automatically rationalize what they see. If one comes after you, I need a signal. Otherwise, I won't be able to tell. I frown. This is a real problem. Last time Lyra attacked, in everyone else's eyes it looked perfectly normal. A single code word might not be enough. I think for a second. Multiple backups. I shout, win tight, bail out, or I flip a coin, or I touch my right ring finger with my left index finger. Any of those means I'm under attack. Frost nods, then holds out a small wooden ring. This? Is it fireproof? I cut her off. She shakes her head. Then it's useless. I sigh and open my palm. Flames bloom in my hand. Frost freezes. Your ability isn't the worthless gem? It's one of the gem's abilities. I don't elaborate. I just close my fist and put the fire out. All right. She doesn't push it. Instead, she swaps the ring for a jade pendant and holds it out. This is a frost jade. I carry the warm jade. If your frost jade gets heated by flame, mine warms up. That's how I'll know something's wrong. Plan locked in. I leave the chamber and take a walk through the city. Half an hour later, I find a place called King's Fist Dojo, blazing with light, packed with adventurers coming and going. The moment I step inside, a girl in a training uniform smiles and intercepts me. "Hey there, can I help you with something?" She hands me a flyer. I scan it. The prices are criminal. Beast King Fist Mastery, 9,999 pearl coins. I wince. This place has no business being anywhere near someone as broke as me. But after I convince Frost to approve a 10,000 coin operating budget and hand over every coin of it, I finally step into the inner training hall. The room is full of students, most of them 25 to 30 years old. I stick out badly. Then a guy about my age walks in. "Hey, I'm Jay." He comes straight over. I nod. "Zane." Then the instructor arrives, a man in his 40s, built like a tank, with eyes like a wolf in winter. I fire a scan at him before he even reaches the front. Name, Bale. Tier 3 awakened. Level, 25, another monster. Bale skips the introduction. Beast King Fist, 3 foundation forms, Ape King form, Great Ape form, Phoenix Claw form. Today we start with Ape King form. I follow his movements and pick it up fast. But Jay beside me is a complete disaster. Same motion, corrected more than 10 times, still wrong. Are your feet even connected to the rest of your body? Bale is drenched in sweat by the end, visibly done. He looks at me, then at Jay. Then he makes a decision. You, spar with him. We step to the center of the floor. Go. I launch instantly. One feint, close the distance, slip right up beside Jay, coil around his arm like a monkey, and tap one fist lightly against his cheek. Fluid, clean, fast enough that half the room didn't catch it. Jay didn't even have time to react. That's enough. Bale sighs. Jay's case is clearly closed. But Jay won't leave. He stands there with a miserable face. "Coach Bale, please, just a few more days. I'm curious. This guy has zero talent, so why is he pushing so hard?" I slide a quiet scan onto him. Name, Jay. Potential stars, 7. Gift, hard work pays off. Learning speed reduced by 90%. However, any skill can be improved through consistent practice. Each consecutive day of the same training type increases growth rate by 10%, up to a maximum of 1,000%. Oh my god. 7 potential stars. Hard work pays off. This isn't a dead end, this is a total hidden cheat code. Get him through the door and his growth curve will go completely off the charts. This guy is a goldmine. The decision forms instantly. He goes through class red-faced and soaked in sweat. He can't even crack Ape King form by the end. Meanwhile, I've been half listening from the side and can already feel the form clicking into place. Afterward, we walk back together, and I find out he's a second-generation kid crushed under elite expectations his whole life. Zane, let's train again tomorrow. Jay grins at me, big and genuine, completely unaware that he's actually a late bloomer with insane potential. I flip back through the window and land, and immediately feel it. The air is wrong. Frost is already sitting at my desk, expressionless, waiting. "Frost, it's the middle of the night. You're going to give me a heart attack." I pull the window shut. "Your cover is blown." Her voice is flat, but there's an edge underneath it, something close to anxious. "The clearance operation went wrong. Someone got badly hurt. There was a veil fox that made people trust it for no reason. You never mentioned that." My stomach drops. Then I shake my head. The ones I identified don't have secondary abilities. Either they swapped identities or there's a precognition type ability interfering. I'll look into it. Watch yourself. Frost shifts, one fluid movement like a drop of water rejoining the ocean, and she's gone. I stare at the empty room. This woman disappears like a ghost every single time. At least it's efficient. Saturday morning. I run through a full set of Pearl City's 3 strikes, then drill the new Ape King form twice. Groceries done, back at the shop, ready to start the day's forging practice. Old Flint takes me on a tour of the materials room. He points at a jar containing a deep blue severed finger and shows it off. "See that? Sea folk finger. 60 years ago, those things tried to come ashore through Changsha River. I was just a rookie then, got to fight alongside the city lord and that whole crew. Sea folk count as wild folk." I stare at the blue-gray thing. Hybrids born from the ocean. They worship a sea god and treat land dwellers like walking food. Old Flint snorts, then pulls out a feather red as fresh blood. Emberbird feather. This thing burns in flight. Make it into a hidden weapon and there's no counter. Only problem? 500,000 pearl coins a feather. On the rare occasion you can even find one. I stare at it and something starts itching in my mind. If I could get a blade made from emberbird feathers, combined with my flame eater gift, that would basically be an infinite fuel source. Late afternoon, closing time. Old Flint heads upstairs to rest. I'm about to wrap up when the front door slams open and Rex shoves his way in, bags hanging off both shoulders, cursing under his breath. The smell of dirt and raw energy discharge hits from 3 meters away. He drops into a seat at the counter, still going off. Clearly the wilderness gave him a beating. "Rex, what happened to you?" I move toward him. Rex shoves up his sleeve, 4 ragged claw marks across his forearm, still raw. He spits on the ground. "Damn it, the northern forests are crawling with aberrant wolf packs. I was on rear guard and nearly got taken out. Then I ran straight into a pack of wild folk, windblades, no warning. Cost me my backup shield." He reaches into his jacket and slaps something onto the counter. A crystal pulsing with deep green light. A wind gem. My eyes lock onto it. I clawed this off a wild folk weapon, counts as payback. Rex slides it across to me, satisfied. "Here, Feel it. The city's full of fakes. Hold a real one and you'll never get played again. I take it carefully. The instant the crystal touches my palm, a soft ring in my ear, and then a flood of voices crashes in like a wave. Veil 12 has fallen. Damn humans, I'm taking out 2 extra today. Oh, what a cute little girl. Come here, let me count. Over here. The Tang family's 3rd son. Word is, I immediately fire a scan at myself. Gift, Wind Whisperer. The wind brings you all kinds of information whether you want it or not. Are you serious? I'm thrilled and horrified at the same time. A brand new gift, and it's a passive I can't turn off. I wrestle my face into calm and hand the wind gem back to Rex, keeping every reaction buried deep inside. Midday. Iron Soul. Wrong. Again. I'm drilling fire control and coaching Jay through Ape King form at the same time. Then a raspy voice cuts through my head, both ears at once. Veil 6. Look at those 2. They look tasty. Lunch. I spin around. 2 Veil Foxes are standing in the doorway, looking at me and Jay like items on a menu. My stomach goes cold. I wrap my hand around the frost jade in my pocket. Flames ignite in both palms. And then, the floor opens up. All 4 of us drop. The sealed chamber. The 2 Veil Foxes hit the ground and launch themselves at us before we finish falling. I haul Jay back and shout, "Watch out, they're monsters!" Fire erupts from both my palms, but one of the Veil Foxes tears through it like tissue paper. The thing is over 3 meters tall, and its claw drives straight for my chest. I hurl myself sideways in a messy roll and scream at an empty corner. Frost, if you don't show up right now, I am done. Frost doesn't come. Jay and I are a full tier below these things. We are completely outclassed. I'm jumping, rolling, crawling, burning everything just to buy seconds. 30 seconds in, I'm cornered. The Veil Fox grins and raises its claw. I can already smell the danger. Then a blue thread of water streaks in like a viper and slices clean across its neck. The massive head launches skyward. Gold liquid sprays across the chamber like a fountain. I follow the water back to its source. Frost stands in the corner, water vapor wrapping around her like a second skin, looking like something that fell out of the sky. She doesn't even give me a breath. One fluid motion, another strike of water, and the second Veil Fox drops just as cleanly. Get back, we'll talk tonight. An invisible force launches Jay and me back into Iron Soul before the words even finish. I slump against the forge, shoving flames into my mouth to recover. One thought in my head. I'm still too weak. I grit my teeth and squeeze out the last drop of mental energy, condensing a bond gem, swallow it in one go, and slump against the forge into a deep sleep. Meanwhile, at the City Lord's manor, a massive golden fox with no human skin over its face, the Veil Fox leader, the Veil King, sits at the head of the table. 9 have fallen this week. His voice is low and furious. My king, just wipe out all the humans. Then what do you eat? Grass? The room erupts. Enough. The Veil King speaks, and every Veil Fox goes dead silent. He turns to the Veil Prince beside him. My son, what's your take? Flush out the rats hiding in the corners. Take them out one by one. The Veil Prince, the one wearing Lyra's face, says it cold and flat. Good. The Veil King slowly closes his eyes. I'm going into hibernation. I'll go dark, and what happens next is up to you. Yes! A flicker of excitement crosses the Veil Prince's eyes. His tall frame blocks the Veil King as he turns to address every Veil Fox in the room. From this moment on, I give the orders. Every Veil Fox answers as one. Yes, sir. That night, in the sealed chamber. Zane, what is going on? Jay sees me and can't hold it back. I spill everything about the Veil Foxes. By the time I finish, Jay's face has gone white as a sheet. I think my mom was devoured. His voice shakes. She keeps teaching me things I already know. She's not cooking anymore. My chest tightens. I grab his shoulder. Don't spiral yet. I'll go to your place and check. Jay looks up, eyes red. Zane, if my mom really was devoured, what do I do? What do? You get revenge for her. You take out that monster. Frost appears out of nowhere in the chamber and drops that line like it's nothing. Both Jay and I nearly jump out of our skin. Frost, you're gonna give someone a heart attack. I press a hand to my chest. Less talking. The aberrants outside are about to riot. Frost's voice is flat. The patrol corps is gone. The city's defenses are hollow. I won't have time to watch your back. I cut in immediately. I know. The Veil King has gone into hibernation and gone dark, so every creature outside wants a piece of the action. The Veil Fox meeting. I heard every word of it through Wind Whisperer. These guys? I curse under my breath. You already know? Frost looks at me, surprised, then narrows her eyes. What else are they planning? The Veil Prince wants to use the chaos to watch. Whoever steps up to fight the aberrants, that's who he targets first. I lay it out straight. They're going to wipe out every strong fighter in Pearl City in one sweep. Frost lets out a cold laugh. You want to play it straight? Then let's see who runs out of lives first. A second later, Jay and I feel the room spin and we're back at Iron Soul. Jay grabs my arm, face ashen. Zane, can I sleep here tonight? I can't face going home. I sigh. Guest room's over there, go. Late that night, in the Purge Corps conference room, the Veil Foxes want to stir things up, so let's add some fuel. Silas, the man who has lived 200 years, smiles as he speaks. Activate the Phantom Veil. The Foxes love to watch? then give them a show. Oracle, the half-rate prophet, pushes up his glasses. Go aggressive. Take out as many as we can. The future's murky, but my gut says this one works. The next morning, Pearl City looks calm on the surface, but the current runs dark underneath. On the street, 3 Veil Foxes, Veil 1, Veil 2, Veil 3, stroll like they own the place, eyeing pedestrians like livestock. Their power ranks just below the Veil Princes. Something about the sky feels off, Veil 3 mutters. Stop being paranoid, find something to eat, Veil 2 scoffs. Little do they know, they've already been locked inside a dead end by the Phantom Veil. In their eyes, it's a busy street, but to Bolt and the Purge Corps fighters, they're birds in a cage. Now! Bolt roars. Gold lightning patterns erupt across his entire body. His hair stands on end. He looks like a god of war. From the distant watchtower, I watch Bolt throw one punch and drive Veil 1, over 3 meters tall, straight into a concrete wall. The wall caves in instantly. Then Dex's eyes shoot deep blue cutting beams. Veil 2's arm shears off at the root like it's made of air. The screaming is deafening. Lucan's psychic flying sword is even more terrifying. It blinks and opens a hole in Veil 3's chest. That's insane, I whisper. Bolt gives them no chance to breathe. Pouring everything into the 3 foxes stumbling in the illusion, each punch landing like a meteor, hitting them so hard they wouldn't recognize their own reflections. One final hit, Veil 1's core explodes like a watermelon. Fall back. Bolt doesn't even glance at the remains. He vanishes into the mist. Then, a terrifying pressure drops onto the plaza. The Veil Prince. I instinctively reach for my scan, but my heart seizes. That feeling of danger soaks me in cold sweat from head to toe. My instincts are screaming, one step near those tails and the next second he'll send my head flying. Damn it. The gap is too wide, there's nothing I can do. I grab Frost's sleeve and hold on. The Veil Prince lands in the plaza, looks at the 3 mangled remains and lets out a beast-like shriek. He tears the skin off his forehead, revealing his true form. The pressure is so crushing I can barely breathe from a kilometer away. Frost, we have to go, he can find me, I say urgently. Frost snorts, grabs my collar, and we shoot toward the city gates. Now you're scared. You're too weak. For the next 5 days I'm going to push you until you don't recognize yourself. If you can't handle it and you fall out there, don't blame me for being ruthless. Wait, Iron Soul. Jay already called in sick for you. Let's go. Boulder Flats outside the city. The ground is all jagged rock, cold and lethal. I'm not even steady on my feet when a water stream beside Frost whips out like a lash and slices a nearby stone in half. Frost, you're serious? I draw the teardrop dagger, on full guard. This is training. If you can't break through in 5 days, facing the Veil Prince means death. 4 water spheres orbit Frost at high speed, her eyes carrying 0 warmth. Come at me with everything, otherwise I'll end you. Damn it. I go for it. I curse under my breath, step into Ape King form, and move like a monkey. Bounding across the rocks, the teardrop flashing cold light, driving straight for Frost's throat. But in her eyes, I'm moving like a snail. I haven't even closed the distance when a massive palm made of high-pressure water smashes into me. Boom. I'm face down on the ground, feeling like every bone in my body came loose. I grit my teeth. I suck in a sharp breath. Frost doesn't give me a second. A burst of water bullets sweeps toward me again. I scramble and roll. That's all you've got? Frost stops. She looks down at me. I'm gasping and I fire back between breaths. Frost, I'm only level 3. What exactly are you expecting? You haven't been pushed to your limit yet. Frost's mouth curves. In the next instant, dozens of water lashes appear from nowhere, filling the air and crashing toward me. One lash cracks across my back. My eyes nearly pop out of my head. Damn it, I curse inside. This woman is not holding back. I stop holding back too. Flames erupt from both palms, forming a wall of fire barely blocking the lashes. But they come like octopus tentacles, attacking from every impossible angle. I'm flailing, jumping, still getting hit over and over, my whole body burning. But under the pressure of that life-or-death edge, something shifts. I enter a strange state. The noise in my head falls away. I start to feel the rhythm of the wind clearly, anticipating each lash before it hits, meeting them with precise bursts of flame. 1 minute later, my fire element energy runs dry. I collapse on the ground, completely drained. I'm done, finish me. I close my eyes and go limp. The lashes don't fall. They pull back to Frost's side and become water spheres again. You're strong, Frost says, walking over. No one at your level can match you. It took me a full year to reach mid-tier. You'll probably be faster. 2 hours later, at the Salt Flats camp. I sit beside a roaring campfire, soaking up the flames, restoring my strength. Frost, 500 push-ups? You're underestimating me. Let's start with 5,000 to warm up. I discover I can absorb fire and train at the same time, my stamina nearly endless. So I go like a maniac, finish 5,000 push-ups, then start frog-jumping circles around the fire until dark. That night, at the acid grass field. That's your opponent. Frost points at a rabbit grazing nearby, and I don't hesitate. I fire a scan. Aberrant acid shot rabbit. Level 9. Gift, acid bullets. Fires highly corrosive acid from its ears. I stare at it, thinking. The area is full of sharp toxic acid grass. There's no way to get close. Then it hits me. I release a small flame and find that acid grass softens when exposed to heat. Of course. I get it immediately. I strip off my shirt and shoes, go barefoot, flames covering my body in charge. The acid grass softens under my feet instantly. It can't hurt me. The rabbit reacts fast. One flick of its ears and a storm of black acid bullets sprays toward me like a shotgun blast. I burn off most of them with fire, but my dagger gets riddled with tiny holes. Damn it. No time to grieve. I drive the dagger at the rabbit, but it curls up tight, and its fur sprays a burst of acid grass liquid. My dagger corrodes down to a bare handle in seconds. I curse, toss the handle, ignite both fists, and swing. The rabbit kicks off the ground, gone in an instant. Frost, it ran. I spread my hands helplessly. Then chase it. Frost's tone leaves no room to argue. Half an hour later, at the center of Frost Rock Tree Valley, a 70-meter white tree rises from the ground. Over 20 spirit fruits hang from its branches. Below, a mass of aberrants tears each other apart, golden energy pooling into rivers. Frost, did you actually get a fruit back then? I stare at the scene. It looks like hell, and swallow. I said I fought for one, didn't say I got one. I follow her gaze and spot the rabbit that ran. Then behind it, dozens more of its kind appear. It's not one rabbit. It's a whole colony. Frost, you already knew? I stare at her in disbelief. They use this kind of suicidal charge every year to thin out their own numbers. Frost says it like it's nothing. Right then, Wind Whisperer roars in my head. Move! A second later, every aberrant and awaken hiding in the shadows floods toward the Frost Rock Tree like a wave. Some ride rainbow bridges straight to the crown. Others throw axes and build rope bridges. A pack of white giant apes bulldozes a path right through the chaos. At the same time, a 20-meter white serpent opens its jaws wide and devours everything in range. The massive acid-shot rabbits launches its suicidal charge, and the entire valley becomes an energy grinder. Move. The word barely leaves Frost's mouth before ice forms under her feet. She drops into the battle like a meteor. I follow right behind, leaping from height, climbing rocks, heading straight for the largest rabbit, the boss. Aberrant, acid-shot rabbit leader, tier, mid-tier aberrant. Level 10. My stomach drops. There's something deeply wrong about the idea of losing to a rabbit, but I'm already here. Backing down now would be embarrassing. I grab a salt-crusted stone and hurl it hard. In the next instant, the rabbit leader explodes upward from its spot, kicks the stone clean out of my hands. Boom. It shatters. The shockwave sends me flying. Both arms go numb. My chest tightens and I cough up a chunk of golden energy. Internal damage. No time to feel it. I roll away from the incoming acid, crawl on all fours to a boulder and gasp for air. Even a lion fights a rabbit with full force, and I just underestimated one. Lesson learned the hard way. I peek out. Frost has already carved a path of ice crystals through the chaos. Then a phoenix cry splits the sky. A small bird wrapped in flames shoots straight for the Frost Rock Tree. An ember bird. My heart jumps. But then the white serpent breathes out a cloud of toxic mist. The ember bird cries out and falls from the sky, gets swatted by a white ape and rolls to the edge of the battlefield. I lock onto the ember bird's remains. A bold idea rises in my mind. I make the call immediately. Shadow ring on, I start crawling toward the ember bird remains. Heat and residual energy blast me in waves. I feel like I'm dancing on the edge of a meat grinder. Thud. A giant pig's head crashes down in front of me. I flinch, go around it, then double back. I pry open the jaws. A black bead rolls out. No time to scan. I pocket it and keep going. Then a bolt of lightning sweeps through the area. The ember bird's remains are cut in half instantly. I sprint forward, grab the half that's left, scorch feathers and all, and bolt. Back behind the boulder, I'm as tired as a dog with nothing left. I pull out the black bead and scan it. Scan successful. Phantom core, formed from the energy core of a fallen phantom goat. Absorbing it grants a 1% chance to gain the ability to control phantom matter. I stare at the result and go quiet. Absorb or not absorb, that's the real question. Sarah's mimic disguise floats into my mind. Then the Veil Prince's unsettling smile. Then the memory of being helpless under those claws. Small, weak, powerless. Do I have the right to be picky? I laugh at myself. I tilt my head back and swallow the bead. A second later, searing pain tears through my gut. Curl into a ball, feeling something claw its way from my stomach up into my brain. Then every pore on my body starts leaking black toxin. 5 minutes later, the pain fades. I collapse on the ground and scan myself. Level 9. Potential stars, 5. Lifespan, 99. New gift, Devourer, 10% chance to gain a special constitution when absorbing unusual items. New gift, Phantom Body. Absorb fear from living things and convert it into controllable phantom mist. Worth it. I almost burst out laughing. 6 levels in one shot. 10 more years on my lifespan. 2 insane new gifts, especially the phantom mist, which can hurt enemies above my tier. I start laughing and then somehow I'm crying. The feeling of getting stronger, it really is something. I use fire to restore my strength, look toward the rabbit leader and think, time to settle this. I flick my finger. A burst of phantom mist shoots out. The rabbit leader reacts fast. One kick aimed at the mist, but a second later the mist passes straight through its leg and into its core. One hit. Done. I haul the 40-kilogram rabbit back to the boulder, use phantom mist to skin and gut it and set it over the fire. I scrape some salt from the ground and sprinkle it on. A wild aroma drifts through the air. I tear off a leg and bite in. Crispy on the outside, tender inside, juice everywhere. The flavor is unreal. But I miss one thing. On the edge of the battlefield, 3 stone lion hounds, black fur, red eyes, human teeth, catch the smell and charge at me like mad. Oh no. I jump up and one lunges at me from behind. Another closes in from the front. In a flash, the teardrop dagger becomes a flying blade, curves in a weird arc and shoots clean through the backhound's core. I use the momentum to fall back, throw up a firewall with my right hand to block the frontal attack, and let the blade cut back through the flames, and carve deep into the second hound's flank. Stone lion hounds. I recognize them and go pale. Just as I jump, the ground explodes. A third stone lion hound bursts out of the earth, mouth wide open, heading straight for my groin. It wants to end me. I'm shocked and terrified. A phantom flying blade launches again, pins it to the ground. I reach down and check myself. Cold sweat. If that had connected, the consequences would have been unthinkable. You took all 3 of them out? I'm about to deal with the remains when Frost returns. Not a scratch on her, a salt frost fruit in her hand. Before I can say a word, a cold water lash appears silently at my throat. Frost, what are you doing? I raise both hands, completely lost. She says nothing, walks over, peels back my eyelid, circles around to check my back, then finally withdraws the lash. You ran into a phantom aberrant. She asks it seriously, stone-faced. I sense something's wrong. I spill everything. There's no point hiding it anyway. One scan back in the city and they'd see right through me. Frost goes silent after hearing it all. She turns away, takes several slow breaths, then suddenly spins around and slams me against the rock. Zane, do you have a death wish? You'll swallow anything with no idea what it is. Do you know how close you just came to dying? Close to dying? I can't believe it. Scan isn't everything. Frost's voice carries a faint tremor. What you ate was a parasite. Once it takes hold, your consciousness dissolves. You tell me, what's the downside of that? I instantly remember the phantom cry I heard when my stomach hurt. That thing was trying to take over my body. Then I think about my ability panel. Devourer is listed before the phantom entity. Did Devourer just digest the parasite? Listen to me, Zane. Frost's tone is heavier than I've ever heard it. There's no free lunch in this world. If getting a new ability was really that easy, Pearl City would be full of dual-gifted awakened. It finally hits me, and the cold sweat kicks in. Back at the camp tent, I take the water and salt Frost hands me. I bite in. My face scrunches up immediately. This thing could salt a person to death. I chug several mouthfuls of water. No one ever taught you. Don't drink random water out here? Frost asks out of nowhere. A second later, my eyes go wide. Something starts churning inside me. My entire body suddenly collapses into a puddle of water. Frost freezes. She reaches out and touches the liquid, murmuring, "Pure water." Frost, you poked my stomach. My voice comes from the puddle. Half an hour later, I manage to pull myself back into human shape, a person made entirely of pure water. I scan myself. Potential stars, 6. Innate gift, pure water form. Body can transform into pure water, while in pure water form absorb water to restore stamina and heal injuries. Another ability. Today has to be my lucky day. Can you change back? Frost's voice carries a hint of concern. Easy. I focus and my body gradually shifts from water back to flesh. Every injury, gone. Put your clothes on first. Frost tosses them to me and turns away. I get dressed a little awkward and notice a layer of dust sitting on top of my old clothes. Pure water form can repel impurities too. Something stirs in my mind. Frost turns back around, eyes on my arm still holding its pure water form, and says flatly, "Keep eating, don't waste it." She'll admit it, she's a little jealous. The next day in an empty valley. Let's go, time to test your new abilities. Frost attacks without a word. A water lash sweeps toward me. I shift into pure water and take the hit head on. The lash merges into my body. Frost instantly feels the loss of control over that water. Of course it counters me, she thinks. Then come ice spikes, boiling water, every kind of attack in rotation. Scream every time, but I'm completely untouched. Now you attack me. Frost raises a water bubble as a shield. I've got this. Before I even finish speaking, a phantom flying blade punches right through the bubble and stops at the center of Frost's forehead. Her pupils shrink. Cold sweat. If I had actually meant to kill just now, she'd already be gone. Why can phantom matter cross tiers? I pull the blade back, genuinely curious. Some researchers think it may be descended from a king tier aberrant. King tier. The Veil Prince's image surfaces in my mind, and I go cold. After a full day of testing, I have a complete picture of my new abilities. Phantom body absorbs fear within 10 meters, costs a lot to attack with, but the power is extreme. Pure water form blocks most physical attacks, but the shift takes 1 second, and in high heat environments the stamina drain doubles. I even develop a new move. Death mask form. Frost gives me her honest red. Your strength is roughly half of a tier 3 now, but your level is still too low. Your body and mind can't hold out through a real fight. Bottom line, your endurance is terrible, and your combat experience is basically 0. Against a serious Tier 3 awakened, running is your only option. Evening falls. We head back to camp. You go ahead. I need to go back to the city tonight. Frost stops at the entrance. Be careful. I nod and walk into camp. A group of salt carriers huddles around the fire. Drift over and catch them talking about strange things in the city. You hear? The lady from the bun shop turned into a sheet of skin. I heard someone went missing at Dragon Spear Armory too. I listen, feeling small wisps of fear drifting off them, quietly absorbed by me. I lower my voice and lean in with a knowing look. I've got some inside info on this. There are actually several more cases just like it, all quietly buried by the higher-ups. The salt carriers draw in a sharp breath. The fear in the air spikes instantly. I stand among them, savoring every drop as it flows into phantom mist. Late night. I sit by the fire, watching the belt shape from phantom mist at my waist, and an idea surfaces. What if I told ghost stories right here? Would that pull in even more fear? No time to wonder. I shape the phantom matter to my face and it becomes a shifting, living skull mask. A nearby salt carrier looks over, screams, and passes out cold. I dissolve the mask and run over, pressing his pressure point, slapping him, getting him back. The second his eyes open and he sees me, whites of the eyes, out again. I drag him to the fire, go back to the tent, and use a puddle of water as a mirror. I scare myself. The face made of phantom mist is absolute nightmare fuel. By the fire, the guy wakes up again, looks up, sees the skull face reflecting in the tent wall, screams, and passes out for the third time. I quietly lower the tent flap. Mental note, use this in combat. It will absolutely make enemies lose their nerve. 4 a.m, Frost comes back, exhaustion and grief on her face. Something went wrong. She sorts through the materials she brought back, voice low and steady. The Veil Prince came out hunting. Bolt took a team to test him. Bolt got badly hurt. 2 teammates didn't make it. Your training ends here. We go back at dawn. What ability did the Veil Prince use? My chest tightens. Just the tail. Frost's voice is a little rough. It can split, extend, and retract. Fast, penetrating power is extreme. I hear that and go cold from the inside out. If I had tried to scan the Veil Prince back then, I'd already be gone. Doesn't your ability let you eat things to gain new constitutions? These materials are for testing. Frost nods at a pile of metal on the bed. I pick up a black iron block. What if I get metal poisoning from this? Don't worry, I brought antidotes. I brace myself, let my mouth shift into pure water form, open wide, and swallow the iron block whole. A second later, it feels like everything inside me is being churned. Frost, what even is this? I'm rolling on the floor in pain. An iron block? Frost's voice carries the faintest hint of a smile. I immediately scan it. It's laced with lethal toxin. Why is it poisoned? I snap, testing your resistance and seeing if you can get a toxic body. I feel like I'm about to be completely done in by this poison. I'm about to lose it when Frost says, why not try shifting into pure water? I pause. My body shifts in an instant. The poison feeling vanishes completely. I ask the commander about you. Frost watches me recover, speaking seriously. He suggests you focus on 1 or 2 abilities, push them to the absolute limit. Your abilities will keep growing, but your energy is finite. I completely agree. Silas, a man who can copy any ability, his advice carries real weight. So I go hard on myself. I take every single material Frost brought back, poisoned or not, and swallow them one by one. A few hours later, I'm flat on the bed, feeling like I'm about to throw up, and I haven't gained a single new ability. Not reliable. I turn into a puddle and flop around on the bed, then pull myself back together and tell Frost, I've decided, for now I'm focusing on phantom body and pure water form. Meanwhile, at Purge Corps headquarters, Silas taps his finger lightly and the entire office drains to black and white. Commander. A shadow agent materializes before him. Have you traced the investigation unit's movements? Silas doesn't look up. Squad 19 has left the city. The 3 units inside show no anomalies. No anomalies. That itself is the biggest anomaly. Silas lets out a cold laugh. Go check on the high squad commander. Find out how bad his injuries really are. He knows. For the Veil Foxes to have slipped in that quietly, someone on the inside had to let them in. The patrol corps was wiped out completely, which makes the investigation unit's survivors look very suspicious. After the shadow agent vanishes, Silas stares at the map, eyes deep and unreadable. He rises, his body splits in 2. One copy keeps working at the desk, the other opens the office door. Outside, Pearl City's streets. At first light, Frost and I return to Pearl City. After we part ways, I head back to Iron Soul. Back early? Rex asks with a grin. Fast learner. I smile and start upstairs, but the moment I take a step, I notice Rex and Old Flint have both gone completely still. I spin around. A white-haired elder is smiling in the doorway, his eyes feeling like they can see straight through me. Who are you? I drop my bag and go on full alert. Don't you have scan? Just use it, the elder says with a smirk. Scan failed. Scan failed 66 times. Scan failed 666 times. My stomach drops, but I already know who this is. Commander of the Purge Corps, Silas. Don't bother scanning, it won't work. Silas walks inside and goes straight upstairs. I pour a cup of tea and ask carefully, how should I address you? Nice try. Silas sees right through me. You already know my name through Wind Whisperer, don't you? My heart sinks. Then Silas adds with a calm smile, until a mind shield is in place, try not to think too hard. I immediately go blank. Since my own time, Pearl City hasn't seen an unlimited tier in over 200 years. Silas sets down the teacup and looks at me. You really think I wouldn't come see for myself? He gets straight to it. I'm curious, can my ability actually copy an unlimited tier? He reaches out and pulls from a black void a massive scythe and a gold bracelet, setting them on the table. Dread Scythe. Triggers fear and absorbs energy. Purified Vault. 450 cubic meters of storage. He looks at me. Whatever the outcome, these 2 items plus answers to every question you have. That's your payment. I stare at the 2 artifacts on the table, and my breath catches. Especially the scythe. It feels made for me. I scan to confirm the stats, catch a glimpse of the brutal process that forged them, and hesitate. I agree. In the end, I say yes. What Silas is offering is too good to turn down. He reaches his hand toward me. Commander. 1 second later, he sighs quietly. That's it. I'm confused. That's it? Silas shakes his head. Your ability, I can't copy it. Disappointed but not surprised. Then he helps you bind the equipment, then begins answering my questions. Silas, you're this powerful. Why haven't you dealt with the Veil Prince yourself? That's the one thing I can't figure out. It's not that I won't, I can't. Silas moves to the window and says quietly, Pearl City has a King-tier divine artifact, the Sun Moon Pearl. Any King-tier aberrant that enters gets downgraded, but right now, I understand immediately. My face goes cold. There's a mole inside. Yes, the Crimson Remnants. A flash of sorrow crosses Silas's eyes. He tells me about the dark history from 200 years ago. A family that treated humans as slaves and food. Why weren't they dealt with back then? I clench my fists, burning with rage. Silas gives a bitter smile. It's far more complicated than you think. After a long talk, the situation in Pearl City slowly comes into focus. The most urgent task now is finding the mole and uncovering the Veil King's true strength. The only person who can see through a Veil Fox's disguise is me. My mission is to investigate the Veil Prince. For the next several days, I fall into a routine. Mornings training at the forge, early nights drilling combat, late nights becoming a shadow, drifting through Pearl City's streets, hunting whatever hides in the dark. The Purge Corps has the whole city under surveillance and still finds nothing, which itself is the problem. The Crimson Remnants must have found a way to dodge it. Midnight. I drift through the streets like a ghost, occasionally spooking a drunk or two and collecting high-quality fear. Then I spot 3 suspicious figures emerging from a building, carrying strange green lanterns, weaving through alleys. I follow silently and find them stopping near a large manor, starting to set up some kind of barrier. I contact Frost immediately. Frost, number 13, Tianhua Road, 3 suspicious figures. Got it. Let me check with Manny. Frost's voice crackles through the badge, the sound of a battle in the background. Quickly, Manny reports back. Tianhua Road shows no anomalies. Even I can't see them. Something's wrong. Frost catches it immediately. Don't move. Wait for me. I pocket the badge and shift into a massive black serpent wrapped in phantom mist, crawling silently up to the rooftop and watching from above. I see the 3 figures use several stones to break through the manor's barrier. I scan the stones. Dragon seal stones, capable of bypassing nearly any barrier. The vision of how they were made hits me like a wall, cast using the core energy of living awakened humans. My eyes harden. One more goal locked in my mind. Clan Crimson must never rise again. The 3 figures slip inside the manor. They seem to be looking for someone. I watch and wait until they drag a sleeping girl out from one of the rooms. This is bad. They're going to run. I follow immediately, scanning the girl at the same time. Name, June. Potential stars, 12. Gift, Holy Light Form. Her core energy has the power to move any living being. 12 potential stars. I nearly choke. I don't fully understand Holy Light Form, but I know one thing. I can't let them take her. I cover my face in phantom mist, raise the dread scythe, and drop from the roof like death itself. The one covering the rear sees my face and freezes completely. I slash. His core flies skyward. Shard is gone. The red-eyed man leading them goes pale. Spike, go stop him. The other subordinate stops instantly, raises both hands, and a hail of rocks erupts from the ground, raining down like meteors. I shift into pure water, let every boulder pass right through me, completely untouched. Then the tip of the scythe fires a phantom blade. It cuts through the rocks and punches clean through Spike's forehead. I run past the remains and feel a wave of purple fear, unlike anything before, flood into me, my body's phantom cloak thickening into something solid. I find I can lift off the ground, moving faster than a bullet. I become a shadow, closing in on Crimson fast. Then an arrow comes from the side. It hits my core hard. I dissolve into water and reform instantly. A masked archer drops in front of me, and without a word fires another arrow crackling with lightning. Whip! A water lash cracks in from the distance and knocks it down. Don't worry about me. Save the girl. I shout toward Frost. Frost doesn't hesitate and immediately turns to chase Crimson, leaving just me and the masked archer. The archer fires an arrow straight up into the sky. The moment I look up, he appears behind me like a ghost. A lightning-charged dagger drives into my back. I'm instantly reduced to a pool of charred liquid. Remember this in your next life, never take your eyes off your enemy. The archer laughs coldly, pulls out fire oil to destroy the evidence. But right then, dozens of spikes burst from the charred liquid and punch clean through his hand. Thanks for the lesson. My face rises from the liquid, voice cold. A storm of phantom blades erupts from my body, forcing the archer into a panic. He miscalculated. He had no idea what I could actually do. He underestimated me too much, a 16-year-old newcomer. How strong could I be? His ring that releases 100,000 volts combined with the lethal toxin on his blade. Anything below top tier would have gone down. But he was wrong. Old habits cost him. I work like a veteran, keeping distance, bleeding him out with flying blades. After dozens of minutes, when he has nowhere left to move, 30 blades launch at once. One hits his knee dead on. Fight over. But I stay cautious. Looking at his wrecked body, I still won't get close. I send a few more blades in. He still doesn't fall. All right, just finish it. The archer says it with effort, still standing. That genuinely surprises me. A new appreciation for awakened endurance settles in. I restore my strength with fire while watching him. This time no words. I condense a blade and drive it straight at his core. Careful enough. The archer gives a bitter smile and suddenly smashes the ring on his hand. Danger. Every hair on my body stands up. Phantom mist wraps around me layer by layer. Boom. A bolt of lightning drops from the sky. The archer turns to ash instantly. Every glass window on the block shatters. The shockwave sends me flying, heart hammering. The noise is too loud. The Veil Foxes will be alerted. I contact Frost immediately. Frost, fall back now. At the same time, at the City Lord's manor, the Veil Prince leaps out the window, his tail split endlessly behind him, spreading like a net over the entire city. Every eye on every tail opens. In the Purge Corps barrier room, Manny, on monitoring duty, goes pale. Bad news, the Veil Foxes are moving. She acts instantly, teleporting Frost, who is still fighting Crimson, directly back to the sealed chamber. On the other side, before Crimson can react, the Veil Prince appears in front of him. Lyra? Crimson recognizes that face, but he knows exactly who this really is. You know me? The Veil Prince narrows his eyes. A tail coils out and yanks him close. He sniffs the blade marks on the wall and smirks. You fought over her. I don't know what you're talking about. Crimson stays stubborn. Interesting. The Veil Prince grins and drives a tail straight through his core. He picks up the unconscious June, muttering to himself, If I eat you, would that be interesting? Just then, June wakes up. She looks at the Veil Prince and smiles sweetly. You're so pretty. The Veil Prince's raised hand freezes. He wants to end this girl, but he can't do it. He turns away and rasps, Shade, deal with her. Shade leaps from the shadows, but in the next moment drives its claws into its own shoulder. Your Highness, I can't do it either. The Veil Prince trembles all over, his tail stopping at the last instant in front of June. A crushing wave of guilt hits him from the inside. Finally, he grits his teeth and decides to take June back to the manor for now. Through Wind Whisperer, catch the scattered words, and my suspicion is confirmed. June's ability is something else. I slip back to the alley in the chaos and start collecting what's left. Forcing down the discomfort, I pull a copper ring, the lantern, and a ring from the 2 sets of remains. Right then, a fireball explodes beside me, and a red-haired guy, all swagger and attitude, steps out. Hey, that one's yours, this one's mine, deal? I turn around slowly. Death mask form settles onto my face. The black cloak moves in air that isn't moving. I raise the dread scythe and speak in a hollow voice. Say that again? The red-haired guy's knees buckle and he drops to the ground. Wait, let's talk. I just watch him, cold and still. The scythe stops in front of his throat. A flood of purple fear pours off him and I absorb every drop. Next time, know what you're looking at. I pull back the scythe, collect the spoils, and vanish into the dark. The next morning, I wake up to see the Veil Prince's tail sweeping through the sky above the city. The phantom veil is mostly gone. Pearl City is exposed. My chest sinks. I stay put at Iron Soul for now. Meanwhile, at the manor, the Veil Prince stares across at June with a headache. Her ability is too strange. He can't feel hostility toward her, and he can't even refuse her requests. He has no choice but to keep her at his side, in case she ends up converting the entire Veil Fox clan. Won't your family worry about you? June blinks with wide, innocent eyes. I don't have family. The Veil Prince says it flat. I don't have a mom either. I grew up with my grandpa. He never let me go out. I finally escaped and I am not going back. June pours a cup of tea, smiling cheerfully. Drink more. My tea is the best. The Veil Prince stares at the cup of obviously low-quality brew, looks at June's expectant face, and finally gulps it down in one go. The entire pot later, he's so desperate he has to run to the bathroom. Even the 5 tails monitoring everything pull back. The moment the Veil Prince steps out, somewhere deep in the manor, a man named Drace uses a special ritual to enter a blank white space. What happened last night? An elder demands. Elder Drax, it was the Purge Corps. A kid named Zane got in the way. Drace answers humbly. But don't worry, I'll deal with him tonight. As for June, she's in the Fox's hands right now. I'll get her out as soon as I can. Do it fast, she's the key to dealing with that old man Silas. I'm in the bathroom scanning last night's haul. The green lantern, after I pour phantom energy into it, evolves into a wraith lantern. One guaranteed hit against anything below king tier. This thing is a godlike weapon. I scan the ring and copper band too. As expected, made through brutal means. I grit my teeth and put everything into the purified vault. Zane, you okay in there? Taking forever. Rex's voice comes from outside. At Purge Corps headquarters in the conference room, Silas leads the debrief on last night. Frost, go to the equipment room and pick out 2 pieces of gear. One for yourself, one for Zane as a reward. Silas looks at Frost with clear intent. Understood. Frost gets it immediately. He wants her to find me tonight. Oracle tries to object, but Silas shuts it down in one line. I'll personally cover Frost this time. At the manor, in the corridor, Drace stops a tide beast mid-attack. Take someone out for me. He slides over a crescent wolf fang. Deal. The Veil Fox agrees without hesitation. That evening, at King's Fist Dojo, we're drilling the new form, Phoenix Claw form. I hand out the obscenely expensive training serum to everyone, cursing the dojo in my head 100 times over. During free sparring, I walk toward Jay. Let's spar. I'm not even at the foundation yet. Jay looks embarrassed. Doesn't matter, just give it a try. I smile. I know exactly what's coming. These past few days without me here, Jay has definitely taken his fair share of hits.